Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today's video is all about the stadiums in my game and the challenges they would hold. So I must preface this by saying that a lot of these are working concepts. I may or may not be able to actually implement all of them, but I will certainly try to. And also, these stadiums will ramp up in difficulty as you go throughout the game. For example, the first one is a lot easier than the 10th one, for example. So let's jump right into it. The first stadium would be a almost quiz of sorts, where you and the other participants would have to learn the type matchups in the game, along with some other puzzles and strategy. It would be a very simple one, just the standard one to start you off. Stadium number 2 would be a small 8-man tournament, where you would try to become the winner of that tournament, and then you would gain that second star. The third stadium would have you catching 5 to 10 critical within a specified time limit, maybe 5 to 10 minutes or so, depending on how many critical there are. The other option would be probably having a catching contest, where either the most critical captured wins, or whoever has the coolest or best critical wins. The fourth stadium is just a simple race. Race with your critical against other competitors to get to a flag, a checkpoint, or something like that first. Pretty simple. The fifth stadium would be a double battle. A double battle would simply be just you have 2 critical, your opponent has 2 critical, and it would be a tournament similar structure to the second stadium. The sixth stadium would be a gauntlet of wild encounters, where you must survive the gauntlet of possibly around 30 or so creatures with your team. I'm not sure if you'd have healing in between for breaks, maybe every 10 critical or so, but all you have to do is survive. And once you survive, you gain that 6th star. The 7th stadium is a luck-based stadium, where you possibly randomly assign a critical or have your critical predetermined by chance. This one seems like it would be pretty hard to implement, so I'm not sure as to whether or not I'll keep it, but it is something good to know. The 8th stadium is one of my personal favorites, and it is a round robin. A round robin is a tournament style in which you face every other competitor, and whoever has the best win percentage is usually considered the winner. For example, someone that went 4-1 will most likely win the tournament unless someone has a record of 5-0. The 9th stadium is a crew battle. A crew battle, to simplify it, is a battle where you and your friends would team up, usually in a group of 3 or 5, and you would each send in 1 critical to battle. And after a critical goes down, you would send in the next person's critical immediately into the next person. So for example, let's say you send out a critical and your opponent sends out a critical and you knock it out, the next critical from the opponent's side would be immediately sent in, and then you would have to battle that. The 10th stadium is a labyrinth, where you and a bunch of other people have to navigate a labyrinth, which would basically just be a really long dungeon, and whoever can survive the labyrinth would gain that star. The 11th stadium is a little more complex, as it is a dungeon similar to the 10th stadium, except for the fact that you are facing off against other people and you're trying to gain something that an opponent would have, whether that be an item, a scroll, or a chip, things like that. And you basically want to collect the most, or just enough to get past. Maybe you need 10 or 8 or something like that. And once you hit that barrier, as long as you get to a specific exit point, you can gain that star. The 12th stadium is similar to the 10th, except for the fact that it is a final dungeon, so it would be even larger than that labyrinth I stated previously, where you'd have to go through a probably large cave expanse, where you would be facing trainers left and right, except they wouldn't be your opponents. Your competitors would be going through the dungeon as well. The player and the competitors in there would both be going through the dungeon simultaneously, so any challenges you would face, they would probably also face. And just whoever survives it gains a star. The last stadium, the 13th and final stadium, is a large 128-man tournament, which will be around 7 rounds, and whoever comes out on top gains that star. So, when it comes to stadiums, at least for the tournaments, I'm debating that in Universe, the top 3 or the just first place winner would gain that star. As if you just have first place win the star, then it eliminates a lot of people who are very skilled, but couldn't get that win due to a bad type matchup, let's say. So I'm not sure, because that'd be a lot harder to implement in gameplay if you lose a battle. So with the stadiums, you'd be going from town to town, and I'm not sure if it'd be in a linear fashion or not, as you can easily tell that Stadium 1 is a lot less complex than Stadium 13, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, yeah, you would do these in order to obtain 13 stars, and then you'd be able to enter that large tournament with possibly over 200 participants to be gaining that champion rank. Anyways, that's about it for this devlog. I've been Fire. See ya!